Hi there, and welcome to another episode of the Silver Screen Show. Thanks for joining us on this really cold Saturday winter night, guys.
Winter's coming.
Winter is here. Brother's in Madrid, and I'm here, so this is a bit annoying.
It's drizzling as well.
Yeah.
It's just dismal out there.
Why do we even leave the house?
Exactly. For the people.
Yeah.
For the people.
For the lulz.
Anyway, let's get cracking. Once again, joined by Alenia. How are you? How you been? How's the week gone? Anything of interest to our audience? Or
just the regular kind of week. Nothing too interesting. No,
fair enough.
Events. No, nothing like
else.
just going to cinema, going to work, and just generally trying to live life without
nothing captivating to tell the audience. Fair
no,
enough.
No, exactly. It's like, you don't want to hear about my car troubles or my work troubles or anything like that. So let's just move on.
So move on to Mo. Hey there. How you been, man?
Good, thanks. I don't have any trouble. Like, I just watch film all day.
And you went to a really fancy gala on
8 a.m. to 2 a.m.
Wednesday.
Day.
Went to a little fancy dinner gala.
We did, in fact.
All suited up. Well, I was suited up. He kind of didn't read the invite.
Yeah,
Said,
I went as a...
he just went looking like...
I
like
went in wearing... Yeah, sort of. I was like, why is everyone dressed up?
I'm like, the invite says black tie even.
Oh no.
At least I wore proper shoes. So
Exactly. You're even a bit
they
awkward.
at least let me in.
The funny thing about that was I went to the car park. It's all Ferraris and Lamborghinis, and I'm in my Honda Accord. I'm like, my car ain't gonna get jacked today. Right. Okay. Let's move on to film. This is what we're here for. So first up is probably the most recent release, probably the biggest release of this week, Murder on the Orient Express. I'm just gonna whip out my all my details of this film. So it's based on Agatha Christie novel about the murder on the Orient Express.
It's another Poirot.
Yeah, so
Poirot.
it's based on Hercule Poirot, the world famous detective. So this is like the fourth adaptation, I believe. I did my research.
Nice.
I do research. So,
Sometimes.
so this is like the fourth different adaptation of this movie. So this is stars an ensemble cast actually. So that's
Huge
what,
cast.
and that's what's really going to get all the audience pulled in. It's got Johnny Depp, Daisy Ridley. Kenneth
Judi
Branagh.
Dench,
Yeah, just we got them written
Michelle
down actually.
Pfeiffer,
Yeah.
Willem Dafoe, Josh Gad, Penelope
Yeah.
Cruz, Derek
Good.
Jacobi,
Someone's done the
Adam
research.
Garcia, and Olivia Colman, and we can go into where they're from.
So you've got the Pirates of the Caribbean fans coming in, the Star Wars fans coming
Everyone,
in.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, man. So that,
Anyone who loves like Judi Dench and Kenneth Branagh from all of their kind of
yes.
Shakespeare,
background, Willem Dafoe,
Willem
great.
Dafoe, yeah.
John Wick.
Josh Gad if you really like Olaf from Frozen,
Oh, of course.
or
Gaston's buddy.
Gaston's buddy in Beauty and
That
the
guy.
Beast. Yeah, that guy.
Oh,
Apparently he was really funny on set though. Apparently he was doing impressions of Penelope Cruz.
Yeah, he's the funny guy of the lot, isn't he?
Yeah.
So this film follows this murder that takes place on this luxurious train, and it's a murder mystery. That's pretty much it. So let's get in. We got a few conflicting views here, so this should make an interesting review. We'll go to the nice side first, Alenia.
Yeah, I really enjoy it. Like, obviously, like my parents are very much sort of Agatha Christie fans. They love Poirot, they love Marple. So even the other night, we were sat, me and my dad, watching Miss Marple, and I really liked it. I thought that the visuals were really beautiful, really stunning. Like my favorite one actually was. It's a bit silly, but when the train comes out of the station
And they're doing the tracking
and
shot.
it's in Istanbul and it comes out the station, what I don't understand about scenes like that though is why everyone waves,
Because
even
it's
though
a
they're
train.
like half a mile away or a mile
Maybe,
away,
yeah.
they're like woo.
I think it's trying to say people are so
Initially-
poor in Turkey that when they see a train, they're very like, that's a bit condescending.
No, initially I thought it was because they had their family members in the train going, but then I realized it was just the cast in the film.
Yeah, it's
So
just
they wouldn't have anyone.
Oh, it's
It's like-
Michelle Pfeiffer.
Like the beginning of the Titanic, you can probably understand it, but then
Yeah.
they're like, oh, why are you waving? It's like, why not? But yeah, that was nice. And then the scenes when they're in the mountains and everything, I thought was
Through the
absolutely
Alps, yeah.
glorious.
Very, very CGI heavy though, but so
It
glorious.
was, but it
Yeah.
was absolutely beautiful. And I thought that the cast, I thought that they did really well. And I thought the way, obviously the acting seems a little bit over the top.
Yeah, it's a bit
But
cheesy.
you've
in
got
that
to
sense,
think
but
that it was like written by Agatha Christie a while ago.
in the
It's supposed to
early
be
1900s, and
in the 30s, and it's one of those like old style murder mystery things. So like I went into it knowing kind of what I was gonna get, and I was very
I mean, that's what
satisfied.
that's what I got for my good points. You know,
Oh,
it's,
really?
it's very charming and nice to look at. It's all very well done. Like the tracking shot when he first enters the train and he's just following him down the carriages.
Yeah,
That's all
and
well
I
done.
really liked when when he was like interviewing people and it was shot through
The
the
glass.
cut glass.
Yeah, I like
I
that,
thought
yeah.
those shots were really, really
Made Willem
good.
Dafoe look even more evil than he normally
What's
is.
your beef with Willem Dafoe?
Oh, it's not beef, but he's always the evil guy. So
He's
he's like,
got the evil guy.
he's got the evil
face,
guy.
doesn't he?
Yeah, I love the
He's
guy.
got
He's
the
just like
voice,
every film he's just the evil guy. So that's why he's just like nothing personal. He's a great actor, but
Token evil
every
guy.
film he's the token evil guy. So it's just a typecast he's in.
Not
so.
in John Wick 2 though.
Right.
He's one of my favorite characters in John Wick 2.
He's in the first one.
Yeah, he's in the first one as well.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
the
Oh,
second
isn't he the sniper?
He's the
Yeah,
sniper,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay, cool.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I thought,
Sorry, one final good. I think I like Poirot. I mean, there's a few aspects of him which was a bit over the top comedic, I think. But overall, I think his description on the show, portrayal on the film was pretty good, and I liked it. And I think if they do a follow up, I wouldn't mind Kenneth Branagh carrying on with this. But yeah, it's just my opinion.
Yeah, I really liked him as well.
let me give you the other side of the
Here
Yes.
comes the
Yeah.
Imperial.
Here it comes.
Because I thought this film was so bloated and so overproduced, and it's just such a unnecessary.
Sounds like Justice
film.
League review.
Yeah.
One week
Yeah.
early.
No. This
Hide
film.
your anger, please.
There is no anger. It's just
Just
objective critique.
yeah, I'm not.
This Poirot looked to me as a fake. I grew up watching the TV series, the Poirot TV series,
Yeah.
and this guy looked like a fake with his fake mustache, fake accent,
Yeah.
even the fake OCD. It
Well,
just
of
didn't
course, got
work.
fake accent. He's British, so
Yeah, and he's supposed to be Belgian, so.
Yeah, it just didn't work for me from character perspective. I thought the acting was good. I do agree.
it's a great cast. You can't
Yeah, the
blame the
cast
acting
is
on
good.
that, yeah.
They know how to act. They're veterans in the acting industry, so they do act well. But I thought there was a very strange juxtaposition of the characters, then the slapstick comedy elements.
Yeah, I think the
Mixed
slapstick.
together, yeah,
I think
mixed
the
together with
slapstick
the-
comedy did
Yeah.
take it a bit.
Yeah,
too
yeah,
far.
with a historic setting. What do you call that kind of setting? I can't
Period
remember.
setting.
Period
Period,
setting.
yeah.
Yeah, it
Period
just
set.
doesn't work.
Yeah.
And I do agree the visuals in the film was amazing, but I then again also dislike the fact that it was so CGI heavy that you could tell it was CGI. Istanbul is a beautiful city in its own
Yeah,
right.
I
You
thought-
don't need CGI to make it more
It's
beautiful.
like when they did
Yeah, I know, but
the
it's
when they did
set
X,
in the 30s.
you can always
can't-
just take a video and then put some filters on it to make it. Like, they don't need to CGI the entire like city, which I think is a bit like the mountain scene. You can just put a train for the mountain. You don't have to CGI that. You can just do that
And
normally.
you make your actors freeze to death and maybe get caught in an
Yeah.
avalanche.
No, they don't have to be in that, but like outside shots, like the trains
No,
cutting through the.
I do agree with the CGI in the mountain. You can't have a train like precariously sat in front.
Oh, not
on
that. I mean,
top
like the
of
shots of it's going through the mountains and stuff. Those don't have to be like CGI influenced.
Yeah.
But
I suppose CGI is cheaper than building an actual train and,
sus-
getting
And
it through
going
the
and
Alps.
I
going
suppose when you got that
Yeah.
many famous actors, your
Yeah.
money's gone somewhere else probably
Yeah.
too.
But coming back to the objective critique of the film.
Hater.
Yeah, I mean, like I was saying, I thought beyond those points I mentioned, the other thing I thought the film doesn't do well is translate the story from a book to a film.
Definitely.
I mean, we've seen many books being translated to films. Harry Potter comes to mind, Lord of the Rings comes to mind, and they always change the story to fit the aspect of a film, 90mm film, because the story has to flow, the narrative structure has to work, the plot holes have to be put under
Filled.
the carpet.
The
So,
plot holes have to be filled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here, once you see who the main villains are, the main
Whoever the
whoever the
antagonist.
main antagonist is
Yeah.
who carries out the murder, you're just thinking, wait, why did they then do the things they did before in the film? Why did they act that way? They didn't need to. Why would they act in such a way? I'm not going to spoil any of the scenes, but
No.
the moment that third act came
Yeah.
about, I just got. I just,
So much,
I
like,
just had a,
I
I
just-
just had a
I just-
massive, yeah, I just
come
had
from
a
the
massive like mind blast. Like, what?
I-
That doesn't make sense.
I will
Why would
agree with
anyone
you
do
on that. I mean, I thought the biggest downside to this is the final third because it jumps from like a slow building murder, like who is it? Then suddenly to bam,
Yeah.
guns come out, people are flying off the train, it's just like, what, it just kind of shifted a bit too quickly, I think.
Yeah.
So I think the problem with this was the film started off slow, which I don't mind, but it was a bit too slow. So by the time it gets to like the whole murder stuff, you're like well into the film. It's kind of like they don't have to rush to the end. So when all the clues do come together, it's kind of done in a rushed way. The way they do it, I didn't really agree. Where he confronts a certain cast member and he kind of just, this is what happened. They're like, yeah. I'm like, you could have done a bit more of a way to see your genius detective, because I think what he did, anyone could have done. Like, it could have been me, to be honest, put those clues together.
It could have been me.
At the moment you find out a few things, you're like, yeah, you know what's happened. But I think they could have done a bit more to make him look a genius, which he's supposed to be.
And how silly was the My Lovely Catherine section? It went nowhere.
Yeah, they didn't really explain it. Like,
it
sure
didn't go anywhere.
But the thing is, like, you kind of see him struggling with the whole situation because he doesn't find the solution straight away. And it is bamboozling him because so many things have happened that are like, this would all make sense if it wasn't for this tiny thing. And this would all make sense if it weren't for this clue. And he's going through this horrific thing in his mind, and he's like, there's no crack in the wall. And Catherine might have been a love that he had.
I think
he could
you explain it better than it is portrayed in the film. I saw that they were trying to
go for the director's commentary on.
Think for yourself.
No. I could see they were trying to do that. So basically, what
don't bring me into this. Right. Anyway, let's bring this to a close because we're creeping up time. Yeah. So I actually can keep time on our live stream actually. So it's pretty convenient now. I can see how long we're into it. So let's make nice good way actually. You know, when you're presenting, you should know. Sure. So anyway,
you should watch yourself while you're doing it.
So let's bring this to a quick wrap up. I'll start off. My quick review was I'll say it ran out of steam. Just by the end of it, pun intended.
Oh my god, I hate you.
So I think it started really well, but I think at the end of it, it's just kind of like, it felt very rushed, but that's just my opinion.
You could have said there's nothing oriental about the Express.
It's true, but I like my one better. Go with the steam pump.
I liked it. I didn't think it was too different from like the TV shows that I'd seen because they do always direct you in certain ways, and then there's this big reveal right at the end, and then like boom, the episode's over.
Diagnosis Murder.
But
love that show.
I love that show to be fair.
Man. I watched it when I was out of work for a year.
Diagnosis Murder. Miss Marple, I love it. And like Midsummer Murders and things like that. But I thought it was visually stunning and interesting.
Awesome.
Stunning. I thought it was a fake, bigly fake news. Fake.
Oh my days. This is how bad you are. Imagine when Justice League comes out, man.
Oh my god.
This was a
I'm ready for that. That's gonna be like, you're gonna have an hour special.
We're not gonna turn up.
Just you in a room going.
Yeah, it's Poirot, too slapstick.
Fair enough, yeah.
I think other than that one scene in the beginning, I didn't think it was.
I think there are a few other things like.
This Poirot is dumb as well. He doesn't figure out the clues once he realizes so many people are connected in such a way.
But you see it because you're an onlooker and you know what's happening. Like
I'm not even a detective.
Right, guys, I'm gonna be I'm gonna be the referee here and I'll call it quits and ends. Let's let's move on because this is a bit intense now. I didn't know this would be so dividing, man.
Let's move on to the next film then.
Yeah. So next film is